Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today we're gonna do a WW freestyle meal prep. So I hope this video gives you some good ideas of what you can make or meal prep or eat on your weight loss journey. If it does, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm gonna start by cutting up my onion. One of you in the comments said to leave it together and that wouldn't make me cry. Not sure how I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna try it. I've already got my pan sprayed with some olive oil, so I'm gonna toss my onions in. And to the onion, I'm gonna go ahead and add a pound of lean ground chicken breast, because we are attempting one pot chicken parmesan pasta, and I've never done this before, but I do really love chicken parm. To this, I'm also going to go ahead and add some spices. So I'm going to start with a little bit of garlic. I'm also going to add some fresh sea salt, and I'm going to add in some Italian seasoning. Then I'm just going to let the chicken brown, and we will worry about adding in the other ingredients later. For breakfast this week, I'm making my regular breakfast burrito type things that you guys have seen me make with bacon, egg, and cheese before. But this week I'm going to try some of the new Butterball Inspirations turkey sausage, or new to me, I guess. I've never tried them before. Hopefully they're really good. Some people recommended them on a WW freestyle group that I'm in on Facebook, and for 3 of them it is 2 points. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these in a skillet, and then we'll start on the wrap. As part of that breakfast, I am doing my eggs in the oven like I normally do. So I'm gonna get a good spray of olive oil on my pan. Just want to make sure we don't have any issues with sticking. Then I'm going to put probably about 8 eggs in here, because I would like to make extra this week, but I'm not sure, so we'll see. I'm going to add just a splash of milk. It's nothing that will add points, it just helps them rise a little bit. And I'm going to sprinkle some salt. Now I'm going to put this in the oven on 350. It is not preheated, and by the time the oven gets to 350, the eggs will be done. So now for the chicken parm, my chicken is pretty much cooked down. If it's still a little pink, that's fine, but it's gonna continue to cook with the rest of the stuff we're adding in. So we're going to add in a can of petite diced tomatoes. You can pretty much do what you want here. You can add marinara if you would like, but I didn't want to add the points for it, so I'm just adding in the onions that I had in, and a lot of Italian seasoning and some garlic. I'm also going to add in a can of tomato sauce, so it's kind of like DIY spaghetti sauce, pasta sauce. That's what I'm doing. And I'm gonna add probably about a tablespoon of minced garlic. Quite a bit of garlic in there. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle some more Italian seasoning. I feel like marinara is mostly Italian seasoning and garlic and tomatoes anyway. You can also do the homemade 0 point marinara. That would be a great addition to this. So I found this recipe online, and I went in and created my own recipe, one pot chicken parm, on the WW app. I'm not sure if there's a way you guys could find it on there if you were looking for it. If you know, leave it in the comments so the rest of us know. But my goal is to split this into 6 servings, which is going to be 5 points each. Normally you add water to this recipe, but I have decided to go with chicken broth. Online I think it was about 2 cups, and before I put my pasta in, I think I'm just going to let that come to a boil. I would rather have not enough liquid than too much, and so we can go back in and add more if needed. I am going to go ahead and add in 1/4 cup of my Parmesan cheese. If you can get freshly shredded Parmesan, that would probably be even better, but you guys know me, this is what I have on hand. So I've added in 1/4 cup of this. I'm gonna let that come to a boil, and then we will add our 4 cups of pasta. Here is our first 2 cups of pasta. Now we're gonna do 2 more. Now you wanna make sure that your pasta is all covered with the liquid. It is at a boil right now. I'm gonna reduce it and let it simmer. And then I'm just going to check on it. So while the chicken parm is on the stove, my eggs are done out of the oven, so I'm gonna get started on my breakfast wraps. I just like to cut the eggs with a pizza cutter, and you can pretty much cut them how you want since they are 0 points. Just whatever you want a serving to be on one of your wraps. I'm going to be using the Olay Extreme Wellness 1-point tortillas. This is what I usually use if you guys have watched me before. This is one of my favorite breakfast preps because it freezes well. It's easy to take on the go. You can eat it in the car. So the first thing I'm going to put on a wrap is the amount of eggs. It's usually about an egg or 2 worth. And with these sausage links, you can have 2 of them for 1 point. So in order to keep the points even lower, I'm gonna have 2 of them on a wrap. Then you're gonna add a slice of your favorite cheese onto each of these. This is the Velveeta sliced cheese. It is 1 point per slice. Then you're just going to wrap it up as best as you can. Sometimes some fillings like a bacon are more wrap friendly than others, but I know this is going to be delicious. So then I've got one wrapped up. I'm going to wrap it in my foil. Then I will store these in the fridge for the first 2 or 3 days. But otherwise, I keep them in the freezer. I'm sure you maybe wouldn't want to go over a month in the freezer, but mine are usually gone by then. When I have laid mine out the night before and they have thawed out, I like to just do the air fryer on 350 for about 3 minutes, and it usually works out pretty good. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these packed up. I just need to say, this pasta smells, looks, and tastes so good. My husband keeps saying the house smells like Subway. Yeah, I guess it could smell like the Italian side, but it is, oh my god, looks awesome. So now to complete it, we're gonna add a 1/4 cup more of Parmesan cheese, and I'm gonna try to sprinkle this all around. So in the recipe, we've got a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese total. So we're gonna add 1/2 cup of this mozzarella cheese, and that will still keep the recipe at 5 points per serving. Sprinkle this on there. And now we're just going to let it simmer for a little bit longer so that cheese can melt, and then it will be done. So here is the finished product. I'm not sure if it's gonna come across on camera, but this is so delicious looking. I wish you guys could taste it. I highly recommend making this. And now I'm gonna try to split it into 6 servings. I'm thinking it'll be about 1.5 cups each, but I will let you know. Okay, so I was able to get 6 servings out of this, and they're about a cup. So this is going to be a 5-point serving, and I got them packaged up. I'm about to take a meal prepping break to try some of this, and I'm probably going to have some of my garlic toast with it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I make that, and then when we get back I will be cooking sides and making lunch. The way I make my garlic bread is I just take my toast fresh out of the toaster and I spray on a good amount of the parquet spray butter. Then you just sprinkle some garlic powder or garlic salt. You could use that as well. And honestly, this tastes like an Olive Garden breadstick. It is 1 point. It goes great with Italian dishes, pasta dishes, and that's how I make my garlic bread. Alright guys, so I am back. I had a good little lunch break there, and the 1-pot chicken parmesan is so good for 5 points. Definitely something I'm going to make again, and I'm sure it will freeze well. So with it this week for dinners, we're going to be having Brussels sprouts. I prefer the fresh Brussels sprouts, but my Walmart grocery didn't have any this week, I guess. I've gotten it before, but they didn't have any on there, so I just got these 2 bags. And instead of microwaving them, I'm just going to put them in a pan, let them simmer and cook up a little bit, and I'm going to be making sandwiches for lunch, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. For lunches this week, I'm going to be having just plain turkey sandwiches. So I'm using the Fit and Active bread from Aldi, 98% fat-free turkey breast from Aldi for 0 points, and a slice of Velveeta cheese, but I do want to make it kind of like a melt. Plus I think this will help keep it together. So I'm going to go ahead and make up 2 of these sandwiches, and I like to make these fresh because I don't want the bread to get soggy, and they're just better that way. So I'm not actually going to prep a lot of them, but I've got my George Foreman on. I'm going to go ahead and add this to the sandwiches, and I might spray a little bit of butter on them, and then we will see how it turns out. Just a little tip for you guys, these actually make great meal prep containers. So if you're on a budget or just trying to save money, or you need more meal prep containers, or whatever the situation is, if you buy this lunch meat from Aldi or possibly some other lunch meat from different stores, these are super good to reuse as meal prep containers. Here's what they look like. I think these will end up being really good. I'm just gonna make the 2 for now, and I might end up having spinach with it or spinach on the side, but I'm just gonna go ahead and get them into some containers. And with that, for lunches, I'm gonna be having 2 or 3 points of these cheese balls. These are much bigger than I thought they were going to be, but of course they're delicious. Me and my husband have already cracked into them a little bit, so there we're at 0.7, and I'm going to take that. I think for 3 points that is a decent amount. It's a good change from what I was having, because I was eating Poppables all the time or baked Lays, and I just wanted something cheesy, you know. But that's going to be what I'm having with my lunch. Okay guys, so it is cookie time. You saw me make this in last week's meal prep. I will link it up below if you didn't see it already. This is the Betty Crocker chocolate chip cookie mix, and this is 2 points per tablespoon, which is equal to what 1 cookie is going to be. Of course, that amount of points does not count for the butter in the recipe. But I have recently discovered that just like with cake mixes and things of that nature, you can substitute the unsweetened applesauce for what you would normally put as oil or butter. So I'm going to take a 1/4 cup of applesauce. I'm going to add that instead of adding any butter or vegetable oil. And this worked out pretty good last week, so, and then we're going to go ahead and add our egg to that, just like normal. So now we're going to mix this just like we normally would until we get a dough consistency. plop them out here by tablespoons, and then we're going to put them in the oven just the same as the package directions. So I've got my first pan of cookies in the oven, and I'm setting it to 350, and that's going to be for about 8 or 9 minutes. I'm just going to check on them after that. For some reason, these Brussels sprouts are taking forever to actually get done. So I've just got them steaming over there, and I am starting some boiled eggs here. So I'm going to let this come to a rolling boil, and then I will remove them for about 12 minutes, let them sit in the heat, and then we'll put them in an ice bath. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on. I do not think these Brussels sprouts are going to work. I don't know if it is because they were in a microwavable bag or what. I just assumed that I could still fix them in a pan, and I usually like them this color, but these have been on the stove for probably an hour just sitting here cooking. I made sure that there was enough cooking spray to keep them moist, and they are still crunchy, and I like mine really soft. So that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and pack up my dinners without this. Hopefully I won't have to throw this out. I'm going to let it continue to cook, and hopefully eventually it will get soft. This is real life. Sometimes your meal prep isn't what you expect it to be. Here are the cookies out of the oven. Okay guys, so here is my meal prep for the week. I must say, with the one pot or one pan dinner, this was actually pretty quick. I think this is the earliest I've been done cooking for the week in a long time. Sometimes I'm up until like 9 p.m. cooking and then cleaning, and then I have to edit and everything. So I'm so grateful to be done by 5 o'clock. It really doesn't have to take super long. You just have to prioritize and multitask. So here is what I have for breakfast. I have 6 of the wraps with sausage, and I also made 2 that are just egg and cheese, and I can tell these are the flatter ones. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in the fridge and the freezer, and then those reheat so easily. So the sausage ones are 3 points, 1 point for the wrap, 1 point for the cheese, and 1 point for 2 of the sausage links. And then the cheese ones are only 2 points, because the only points are the cheese and the wrap. And then we have eggs in each of those for 0. If you guys have watched me at all, you know I am a snackaholic. I like to eat every 2 hours. It keeps me from doing unnecessary snacking or binging later. So for my first snack of the day, I'll either have 2 or 4 points worth of these 1 or 2 cookies, and I will take fruit with that. This week I've got cuties and blackberries and blueberries to choose from. Then for lunches, I'm having a 3-point sandwich with 3 points of the cheese balls. So that is a 6-point lunch. For my second snack of the day, I'm planning on taking a 1-point snack. So I will have one of the light string cheeses, a boiled egg, and some of these peppers. So the point will be just for the string cheese. Then for dinners this week, I have prepped about a cup of the 1-pan chicken parmesan pasta, and that is super good. The Brussels sprouts didn't work out, but I do have corn, and I'll probably just put corn in with these. Or since it's a dinner, I'll probably just heat up some corn along with it. And then I'm going to have 1 or 2 pieces of my garlic bread. So depending on how many pieces of garlic bread I have, this will be 6 or 7 points for dinner. And that's going to leave me plenty of room for a nighttime snack like popcorn or something like that, because that is something I like to do after the gym. So that's the meal prep I'm doing this week. I hope this gave you guys some new ideas. I really hope you decide to try out the chicken parmesan, because it is so good. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in my next video.